2021, the 2nd of the 7th month, 2021. Thank you to those of you joining us on the GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, GBN TV channel 7, 11, and 20. Good morning to all the listeners of Classic 105.5, 105.9, and those of you joining us on Party Grenada and Go to Fet Facebook pages. All our viewers and listeners across the Caribbean, whichever part of the region you are, we're bracing for some stormy weather over the weekend. I'll tell you a little bit of details in a short, but in the meantime, have to hail up the folks joining us internationally. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Hope you will have a good day, are having a good day, have had a good day. Bless up your whole selves on this fantastic Friday. No sticking, we're going to get straight into this morning's word of the day. This morning's word of the day is stalwart. Stalwart. It's spelled S-T-A-L-W-A-R-T. Stalwart. It's an adjective which means firm, steadfast, or uncompromising. Stalwart. The word stalwart is originated from Scots form of the Middle English word which means strong, sturdy, or serviceable. Stalworth has many variant meanings in Middle English because its second syllable was confused with the adjective worth, which means having monetary value. In fact, stalworth, which is spelled S-T-A-L-W-O-R-T-H, comes from the Old English word which means able to stand a person in good stead. Stalwart, in the sense serviceable, entered English before 900. The other senses date from the late 12th century. The word of the day this morning is stalwart. S-T-A-W-A-R-L-T. It is an adjective which means firm, steadfast, or uncompromising. An example of the use of the word: Martha was envious, but she was a stalwart friend and mordantly funny about women's plight. That's the word of the day this morning, stalwart, spelled S-T-A-L-W-A-R-T, stalwart. It's an adjective which means firm, steadfast, or uncompromising. And the thought of the day as you go about what is going to be a rainy Friday for most of us here in the Southern Caribbean, the thought for today is enjoy the little things. For one day you may look back and realize they were the big things. Enjoy the little things. For one day you may look back and realize they were the big things. Sometimes the little things are the things that we take for granted, the things that we don't really pay attention to, but it's there for a purpose, and it's only when it's gone. You never miss the water till the well runs dry. And that's when you realize what you thought were little things were really the bigger things. So pay attention. Enjoy the little that you have, the little things, the little moments, the little people, the little situations. Enjoy them, because one day you may look back and realize they were the big things. All right, we're going to skip what is celebrated today and get straight into some information. As most of, if not all of you may know by now, that the Southern Caribbean is bracing for the impact of Tropical Storm Elsa as she continues, according to the official weather people. Weather officials, Tropical Storm Elsa is strengthening as she approaches the islands in the Southern Caribbean. There are islands still under Tropical Storm Watch and Tropical Storm Warnings. I shouldn't say right now. At approximately 10 minutes to 6, which is less than an hour ago, Tropical Storm Elsa was located east-southeast of Barbados and east-southeast of St. Vincent, aka west-northwest of Grenada. I'm just going in the opposite direction. Islands still under Tropical Storm Watch include, hold on, I'm looking through my information. It's a lot of information before me. All right. Islands still under Tropical Storm Watch include Barbados, St. Lucia, I believe, Dominica. Grenada is under Tropical Storm. No. Barbados, St. Lucia, Dominica are under Tropical Storm Warning. Grenada is under Tropical Storm Watch. All right. So keep that in mind, which means we can expect when I say we, Grenadians, we can expect to experience tropical storm features, the rain, the thunder, the lightning storm by this afternoon. Tropical storm force winds are expected to start impacting Barbados if they have not started as yet, but they should start from this morning, early as just after 6, so they should be experiencing it now. According to Caribbean Online Weather, the center is expected to pass over open waters just to the south of Barbados about 7 a.m. and just north of St. Vincent about 11 a.m. So the center of Tropical Storm Elsa should be passing north of St. Vincent at around 11 a.m. That is when we are expected to experience most of the wind and rain accompanied Tropical Storm Elsa. Winds will be steadily increasing to reach tropical force over parts of Barbados, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Martinique, Grenada, Dominica, Guadeloupe between 8 to 10 a.m. and later today. So please keep in mind that Tropical Storm Elsa, she is on her way. She has started to affect some islands. She is currently over Barbados. The center of the storm will pass just south of Barbados, but they are already experiencing the rain and wind and all that is accompanying Tropical Storm Elsa. Those of you who live in flood-prone areas, hillsides where mudslides, landslides are possible, please be careful and cautious. Those of you on the western side of the island, that's especially when I think of you when there's heavy rainfall. So please be safe. Those of you who live in the south of the island, we may not be getting as many landslides, but flooding is a problem. Montrouge, Woodlands area, Calvini area by that bridge by Overdesa. So please be cautious, be mindful, leave home a little bit earlier this morning in case you have to encounter traffic jam because of the weather, and so that you can take your time on the nation's roads. It's going to be a wet weekend. We should be seeing clearer skies by tomorrow afternoon into Sunday morning, but until then, at least for the next 24 hours, it will be storm force rain, thunder, lightning storm, as the governor said. So please keep that in mind. Be careful, be cautious, walk with your umbrellas, your water boots, stay home if you don't have to go out on the streets today. All right, and in the meantime, now let's get ready for the morning edition of news. For those of you on radio and those of you on our visual platforms, we bring you highlights of last evening's newscast. It's Good Morning Grenada on a fantastic, fantalocious, what is going to be a storm-filled Friday. We'll be right back.
Lawmakers are sending a strong signal to those who ill-treat police officers. The first signal went out this morning as persons accused of pelting objects at police and damaging police vehicles were denied bail when they appeared in court. GBN's Christelina John was at the Grenville Magistrates Court when the case was called this morning.
Bail has been denied for 5 individuals involved in last Saturday's incident at Maribor St. Andrew. The 5, Javan Alexander, Rakim Thomas, Keldon Murray, Simmons Hosford, and Kanisha Alexander, appeared before the Grenville Magistrates Court on Thursday to answer to charges brought against them, to wit, 3 counts each of damage to property, causing public terror, and causing harm. The 4 males, who were not represented by counsel, pleaded not guilty on all charges brought against them. These individuals were reportedly involved in acts that resulted in the vandalism of 3 vehicles, inclusive of a police vehicle, and minor injuries to a police officer. The lone female involved, Kanisha Alexander, was represented. Corporal Cordina Douglas McLean, attached to the Community Relations Department, spoke to the media outside the Grenville Magistrates Court.
The lone female in this incident, her matter was stood down by the presiding magistrate as she is presently on a bond, and she indicated that she is represented by counsel, so that matter was stood down until later in the day. She was the only person who indicated that she had representation.
Further, Trent Alexander and Dante Matthew were also charged for hosting an event without written permission from the Commissioner of Police. They were both reprimanded for hosting the event and fined $250 each for playing amplified music. Police were forced to fire several warning shots on Saturday as some civilians launched an attack on the lawmen. 1 officer was hurt in the process.
What we are aware of is 1 police officer was injured during the course of this incident, and he is presently on medical leave as a result of that. The charges that were preferred against these individuals are causing public terror. They were all 5 charged for causing public terror, 2 counts of damage to property, and also all 5 of them were charged for causing harm. And these other 2 individuals, as I indicated, they were charged for hosting an event without permission and playing amplified music without permission as well.
The occurrence, which included the throwing of projectiles at the police, left 1 police vehicle severely damaged, as well as damages to another 2.
To place on record the actual cost of damages to both vehicles that were involved in these incidents. They are in excess of $15,000 EC, and must hasten to add that additional charges are expected to be preferred against these individuals because the investigations are still ongoing and they are not quite completed as yet because there was another vehicle that was also involved. So once these charges are preferred, we will update members of the public accordingly.
The 4 young men and 1 young woman were remanded to Her Majesty's prison until July 12th, when they will make their next court appearance. Christina John, GBN News.
Government is about to hit the cancellation button. When Parliament meets next Wednesday, it will take a bill through first stages that could lead to the cancellation of the annual second Monday and Tuesday carnival holidays. Let's get more on that story from Jared Joseph.
Spice Mass is on the cusp of being cancelled for a second straight year. GBN got sight of a bill which is scheduled to be tabled in the House of Representatives next Wednesday, July 7th. It is titled COVID-19 Cancellation of Carnival Celebrations Bill 2021. The proposed legislation will also cancel the August 9th and 10th bank holidays. If passed next week, the bill will be taken through its final stages in a Senate meeting at a later date. On Monday, head of the Community Relations Department, Superintendent Vanny Cohen, addressed the uptick of social activities over the weekend.
As we get closer to Carnival, we do expect more of these carnival-like activities to occur. We beg our people, let us do the right thing. Apply for permission where permission needs to be applied for. Despite appeals for the avoidance of social gatherings at the peak of the pandemic last year, hundreds defied state orders and held Juve and related activities. Prime Minister Dr. Kit Mitchell said during a recent interview that he understood people's desire to see the return of Carnival. But because of the uncertainties associated with COVID-19, he said government needed to take steps to protect the well-being of all its citizens. However, he seemed to indicate a softening of the stance of zero activity, which was in effect last year.
There are other initiatives of social activities that can be permitted with the condition of vaccination.
According to the June 30th dashboard, Grenada only has 1 active COVID-19 case. From March last year to June 30th this year, 162 cases were recorded. 20,023 persons received their first dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine. 14,287 persons have received both. I am Jared Joseph for GBN News.
The National Water and Sewerage Authority is joining others in counting blessings. 2 of the authority's employees sustained injuries in Wednesday's accident in the Grand and St. George. However, no life-threatening injuries were reported. We got an update today from NAWASA's Communications Advisor, Jamila Lewis.
One of NAWASA's water tankers overturned in the Guankai Hill area on Wednesday after delivering water to residents in the area. Communications Supervisor Jamila Lewis explained what may have possibly happened and what might have contributed to the incident. As for the employees involved, Lewis says they were both treated and released and are presently on medical leave, however resting comfortably at home.
The road network was a factor. What I can tell you is that usually whenever there is rainfall, the team don't traverse that area. But the truck was, up in that particular area prior to the rain coming. I remember the operator also noted, he said when he noticed that the rain was going to come, that's when they were attempting to come back, down. And that is when the incident would have, that's when the incident occurred. So we know that the road clearly is a factor. We will be working with the Ministry of Works in this regard.
Earlier today, the company's general manager, Mr. Christopher Husbands, accompanied by other officials from the company, were on site.
Manager, Mr. Christopher Husbands, our legal counsel, Ms. Denise Boris, and also a finance manager, Ms. Louisa Uventi. They visited the area. They spoke to the homeowner who had some damage to his home as a result of the incident, and our insurance is already on the ground, assessing the damage.
The company's communications officer reassures residents that their water supply is guaranteed, however asks for lenience.
The truck, of course, will be out of operation. It will have to be replaced with a new truck. So we also want to tell persons to bear with us as well, because initially we had 2 trucks, with one of the trucks being out of commission now because of the incident. What is going to happen is that we have 1 truck that will have.
Louis says they are presently doing assessments, following which a determination will be made on the way forward. Nawasa thanks the residents of Guankai Hill as well as officers attached to the Royal Grenada Police Force for their assistance provided to the affected employees. Chrislina John, GBN News.
Grenada is currently on the storm watch, the latest in the development of tropical storm Elsa and its potential impact on the state in this report.
As early as Tuesday evening, people here went into weather tracking mode as pockets of weather disturbance dumped heavy rains in various parts of the island. Although conditions improved overnight and into the mid-morning period on Thursday, the island was placed on the tropical storm watch. This as tropical depression number 5 was upgraded to tropical storm Elsa as of 5 o'clock on Thursday morning. Forecaster Cassia Johnson projected that the northern parts of Grenada would feel the brunt of Elsa's movements.
Based on the current track that Elsa is expected to take, we're expecting to feel effects more so over the northern part of the state, which is PT Martinique, Carriacou, and the northern part of Grenada. We're expecting some cloudy conditions to overcast, thunder showers and moderate to heavy showers, gusty winds, and we are expecting the seas to be really rough, so we're advising the public to please be cautious. We are also expecting a medium chance of flooding and landslides in waterlogged areas.
National Disaster Coordinator Benedict Peters noted the potential for winds of about 40 miles per hour.
Our tropical storm warning means that tropical storm conditions are expected within 36 hours, and the tropical storm watch means that conditions are possible within the next 36 hours. So those countries that are under the warning will definitely feel the effects. It is expected, but those are under a tropical storm watch. It is possible to feel the effects.
Some persons go into panic mode whenever a storm watch or warning is issued. Forecaster Johnson says it is imperative that people come to terms with the terminologies.
We are advising fishermen to secure the boats, the vegetable farmers to secure the irrigation equipment, animal farmers to ensure that the animals are out of the flood-prone area, secure areas. The homeowners, we are saying to you that at 40 miles per hour winds, we could get light items to be airborne. It will not be for long distances, so people who have the light items around their homes, they need to secure it so that it does not be easily airborne. Persons who have fruit trees that are close to their homes must remove the large ones because they could be airborne and do some damage. We're also saying to homeowners, check your roof, make sure they are secured, and if securing it is not possible, then you should make sure that items are removed from the ground because it is likely that water could enter the building as a result of the high winds and rain.
Tropical Storm Elsa is one of several weather systems which will feature on the 2021 hurricane chart, which spans June to November. Reporting for GBN News, Beverly Telesford.
The General Hospital has come under heavy scrutiny in recent times over several alleged mishaps, mishandling of patients, and overall unfavorable quality of services available at the facility. Health Minister Nicholas Steele says he is aware of the heightened complaints about customer service at the hospital and agrees it needs attention.
I think with health, there's always room for improvement. And I do believe also from a private sector background as well, with respect to customer service, one can always do better. So yes, it is an area that we constantly are looking at. It is an area that we do receive complaints about. And as such, it's one that we look forward to being able to offer better and more services, a better standard of customer service, and also more timely response on certain queries, concerns, and the way we handle any and everything.
With regards to the resurfacing claims of deaths, Minister Still says he is not aware of any significant increase in infant deaths, as reports suggest. However, he is confident that the doctors and nurses are doing their best to safeguard the lives of patients.
I'm not aware of any increase or significant increase in the number of deaths for babies, as you say. That I'm not aware of. But I am aware that in the hospital, sometimes, no matter whatever efforts the team there tries, that they are not able to save individuals. We are mortal beings. So the team of doctors and nurses provide human service and do their best. But there are occasions, many occasions, at the general hospital where it is either too late or science, medicine, etc., just cannot do anymore to save us. And my time will come with that, your time will come with that as well, no matter how good the service is at the general hospital. If and when, God forbid, we are rushed there for whatever is our method of being called from this earth, there's nothing the general hospital can do to save us. We do our best. The team there does its best, always.
What is sickle cell anemia, and what is it like living with this inherited disease? The answer to these potent questions will be revealed in this week's edition of GBN's Health.
Sickle cell anemia is an inherited red blood cell disorder in which there is not enough healthy red blood cells to carry oxygen throughout the body. In sickle cell anemia, the red blood cells are shaped like sickles or a crescent moon. These rigid, sticky cells can get stuck in small blood vessels, which can slow or block a blood flow and oxygen to parts of the body. The multinational pharmaceutical company Novartis is among agencies and companies that have been trying to shed light on this ailment. They recently shared Faith's story on what it is like to be a young adult living with the diagnosis.
Throughout my childhood, pain has been the biggest factor. It's been really bad, and obviously I had to go into a hospital with crisis. Aside from the pain, it's just the tiredness. I always feel fatigued. In school, like staying concentrated in lessons, engaging with conversations with my friends, it's become a huge challenge for me.
For several decades, finding a cure for sickle cell anemia seemed impossible. Patients made do with treatments to relieve pain and help prevent complications associated with the disease. However, experts say sickle cell research is booming after decades of stagnation, and talk of a cure is real.
Right? People need to know that there is a cure, and it's not experimental. It's not like this new thing that has just happened. It's been around for a while, and we're making it better and better.
According to sickle cell disease expert Ife Osonko, help is on the way.
Sickle cell disease is now a disease of all ages, and the treatments have to be treatments for everybody of all ages, not just for children. The other study that was presented was a gene therapy study, and I'm excited that there's many more ways of doing gene therapy, and the patient is doing well. Now it's 6 months, so we have to give it more time to see how long this result lasts, and if it translates to changing their overall outcome. But it's amazing that there's all this excitement and all this research happening in sickle cell disease. So I'm pretty pumped.
Dr. Osonko was among experts attending an international conference on sickle cell and finding a cure. COVID-19 may have caused a diversion of attention and intensity, but experts are committed to making continued efforts to find a cure for those who battle the blood disorder. Krista Campbell, GBN News.
The preschool cultural extravaganza held on Thursday, July 1st, marked the end of the Hands Across the Sea literacy program. We get the details in this Krista Campbell report.
If we were sick, we will give them a welcome. If they were lions, we will give
Literacy Links, in collaboration with Hands Across the Sea, hosted the preschool cultural exhibition at the VIP Lounge at Grenada National Stadium. The extravaganza showcased the achievements of 5 preschools that participated in the Literacy Pilot Initiative. Representative of the Hands Across the Sea Literacy Program, Ms. Bernadette John, provided an overview of the initiative.
So I told you before that we have 5 preschools. We had 7 big books. And that 7 big books had to be rotated among the schools. Each book was kept for a period of 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, where the teachers did lessons and interact and the parents did their share with the books.
Nehemiah Preschool was among 5 participating institutions. Marine Church, educator at the institution, described it as a rewarding experience.
Wow, it was a journey of challenges and a journey of great success.
Republic Bank has provided financial and other forms of support for the program. Business Support Services Manager Ms. Asher James says the bank is very impressed with the output.
First of all, let me add my congratulations to all 69 of you wonderful children for the hard work you have done and for the very creative displays we are seeing here today. Please join me in giving our boys and girls a round of applause. We are indeed proud of you, and I know your moms and dads are proud of you.
She announced that the participants in the pilot will be rewarded with an additional gift of a Republic Bank Right Start account.
Our Right Start savings account is tailored to ensuring that boys and girls from age 0 to 19 are given an opportunity to learn good savings habits from an early age. This is why we've also ensured that all 69 students in the pilot reading program is given the additional gift of a Republic Bank Right Start account.
Ms. James encouraged the boys and girls to continue reading every day, especially during the holiday period. Krista Campbell, GBN News.
Stay with us now for tonight's GBN EyeSaw compliments Clear Vision Eye Center.
A teacher can be described as a person who helps students to acquire knowledge, competence, or virtue. That's the future goals of the student in tonight's GBN EyeSaw as she portrayed her future occupation at her school's career day. The St. George's Methodist student stands proudly decked out in a Grenada Union of Teachers polo shirt. We can see her in front of the classroom already. Send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp on 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
The Children and Adolescents Ministries of the Grenada Conference of Seventh-day Adventists presents Faith is the Victory Gospel Series. Get ready to be blessed by dynamic young preachers. This life-changing gospel series begins on Sunday, 4th July 2021 and continues nightly at 7 p.m. This series will be streamed on Mission Live GND via YouTube and Facebook. Subscribe now. There will be good gospel singing, prayers, special features, and powerful preaching. Come hear interesting topics such as faith as a mustard seed, the shield of faith versus the fiery darts, and the most powerful secret weapon. Above all, God will be there through the Holy Spirit, offering the free gifts of salvation. Come one, come all, and hear children on a mission. It will be awesome and amazing.
Montreal, it's time to line virtually one more time. Gemma Rayburn Baines here for Spice Island Cultural Festival, a celebration of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. This summer's festival is a celebration of life with food, fashion, music, and culture. Join us online Saturday, July 10th, 3 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube at Spice Island Cultural Festival. Info, spiceislandculturalday.com.
Introducing Color by Sissons. Color by Sissons. Color by Sissons. Color Color by Sissons.
Imagine having the home of your dreams. Imagine investing in that piece of property you can call your own. Imagine finally doing that home improvement project you've always been thinking about. It's time to stop imagining and start doing. Let the GUT Credit Union help you take the first step with fantastic rates, affordable repayments, and reduced legal fees. Make the move. Get better terms on your mortgage. Use your home equity to make those dreams a reality. Act now. There's really no place like home. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
Get vaxxed, hey, hey, vaccinated. Get vaxxed, hey, hey, get vaccinated. Vaccinated. So wear your mask up, wash your hands up, and practice social distance. This is we chance to advance. Come let we fight this COVID at once. So come on, let we fall in line. We want to come back to with social life. There is vaccination island wide. So come on, let we fight it to protect we and we family.
This is a message from the Grenada Red Cross and the Ministry of Health.
Get Rubigas. Get cooking. Rubigas, clean, safe, and reliable LPG is the perfect solution for your commercial and everyday needs. For cooking at home or barbecuing, choose Rubigas LPG cylinders. Available in a variety of sizes from 20 to 100 pound cylinders. Rubigas LPG, clean, safe, reliable. Are you cooking with Rubigas?
Get Rubis, get going.
CGI, Consumers Guarantee Insurance Company Limited, wishes to advise that in the event of adverse weather conditions, we can be reached at the following numbers to report claims. Our main contact number is 440-0217. Alternative numbers are 405-8732, 405-8734, 405-8735, 405-8736, or 420-2348. Our main contact number once again is 440-0217. Once conditions permit, emergency operations will be set up at our branch office, NIS Building, Melva Street, St. George's. In the event that telecommunication lines are down, we will attempt to locate customers using their last known postal address. Remember to stay tuned to the media for announcements and details. If evacuation is necessary, please secure all important documents, including your policy information, in a waterproof container and take them with you. We encourage you to stay safe. That's been an important notice from CGI, Consumers Guarantee Insurance Company Limited.
Bruv.
Hello? I can't see you.
What's good?
But I can't even hear you.
Yo.
Hello? Hello? Ah!
Okay, I see. I'm good. I'm coming in.
Ah, there you are.
Live the experience right now. Enjoy high-quality video calling today. Stream, upload, and share with Digicel super fast LTE network. Visit our stores today and live the experience today. Digicel.
Trends come and go, but jewelry is forever in style. Give a gift that lasts a lifetime. Diamond Intercontinental have diamond jewelry, gold and silver jewelries, engagement rings, wedding bands, chains, bracelets, and so much more. They also carry brands such as Anne Klein and Guess. Why wait? Visit Diamond Intercontinental Jewelry Store at the Esplanade Mall. Call 440-231234. The number again, 232-1234.
Understanding our ocean is education for life. Encourage your students to learn about marine life, water quality, sea level rise. Let them explore sciences. Encourage them through field trips and scholarships. The more they know, the better they can protect our oceans from litter and climate change. Let them rise to the challenge. The ocean is our responsibility, their inheritance, their future.
This message brought to you by the OECS Commission with funding from the government of Norway. Remlit, tackling ocean pollution from turf to surf.
Services, bill payment, revenue collections. We are open. NOASA's Lucas Street headquarters.
Come, we are excited to serve you.
NOASA, committed to meeting customers' needs.
Montreal, it's time to line virtually one more time. Gemma Rayburn Baines here for Spice Island Cultural Festival, a celebration of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. This summer's festival is a celebration of life with food, fashion, music, and culture. Join us online Saturday, July 10th, 3 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube at Spice Island Cultural Festival. Info, spiceislandculturalday.com.
GBN Television News at 7, a pulse on all things Grenadian. Look out for our new features through expanded synergies with our media partners in Barbados, St. Lucia, Jamaica, Trinidad, and beyond. Capturing the latest in news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Credible, informative. Thank you for making us number one. News at 7, live, Monday to Friday on GBN Television, Channel 7 and 11. K105.5 and 105.9, Hot 98.5 and 98.7, GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel, and www.gbn.gd. GBN, with you anywhere and everywhere.
5 things you need to know about self-isolation. Stay home. If you are told to self-isolate, it means staying at home, not going to work, school, or other public places, and you should not have any visitors. Separate yourself. If you live with others, then you need to stay in a well-ventilated bedroom with the doors shut. If you have to share a bathroom, then use it after everyone else. Don't share towels and toiletries, as this may put others at risk. Call ahead. If you develop symptoms such as a fever or cough, then seek advice first by calling the Ministry of Health's hotline at 538-4787 or 458-4787. Please do not show up at a medical center or hospital, as this may put others at risk. Take care with waste. If you test positive, your waste should be double bagged and disposed of separately. Create a buddy system. If you live on your own, you can plan with friends and family to check in with each other and run essential errands if one becomes sick.
Welcome back to Good Morning Grenada, 22 minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock. Those of you just joining us, happy to have you. Those of you who stuck with us, thank you for your patience. Before we get into the showroom this morning, just by way of information, the next update on Tropical Storm Elsa will be released at 8 o'clock. But what I would do, I would contact the meteorological office at just about 5 minutes to 8 and speak with forecaster Jerry Tamer, and he can give us the latest update on Tropical Storm Elsa. So just by information, Grenada is still on the tropical storm watch. Elsa is located northeast of Grenada. At least the center of Tropical Storm Elsa will pass just northeast of Grenada, and we are already feeling the effects of the weather system, and of course we'll start to continue to feel more as the day progresses and Elsa passes, but we'll get the professional update at approximately 5 minutes to 8 from forecaster Jerry Tamer at the meteorological office at the Morris Bishop International Airport. But in the meantime, you all know how excited I am about the showroom. Every week I am always excited to speak to our talented Grenadian, and this morning look at me blushing. Let me start over. This morning I am joined by a female powerhouse, Wendy. Mrs. Daniel, I am so happy that you are joining me this morning. Wendy Crawford-Daniel is in the building this morning as my guest on the showroom, author extraordinaire, as I like to call her, a talented Grenadian. Once you hear her name, you know it's only good things, big things happening with Mrs. I am so happy to have you this morning. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome, Blossom. I'm looking forward to this morning. Although it's a pretty stormy morning, and looking outside and wondering what the day is going to be like, but I know it's going to be all good.
Don't panic.
To be with you on morning, it's going to be all good.
Oh, that makes me feel good, and I'm happy that I have you joining me this morning, especially when it's a Grenadian. I'm excited, especially when it's a female Grenadian. Excitement gone up. More excitement. Thank you so very much, Mrs. Crawford-Daniel. Appreciate you this morning. This month, I am featuring our local authors. I started with Mr. Ambrose last week, and I said, you know what, this week is going to be Mrs. Daniel. My mother told me the same thing. Another viewer called me and said, you should bring on Wendy. I said, yes, that's the plan. So I know it's not me alone excited to speak with you this morning. So I appreciate it. So let's start from the very beginning. A very good place to start. Oh, yeah. You and I appreciate your authorship. I'm making up a word. But when I was speaking to you just now, I told you we'll speak about your career as an author. But you told me you may more likely be a hobby. So if you say it's a hobby, how did you get into this hobby of authorship?
Okay, I like that question. It goes way back. I can think very early in my high school years. We had a literature teacher. Her name was Trish Bethany. I'm sure you know Trish. She's all over. I mean, any cultural activity, she's present. And her literature book was To Kill a Mockingbird. And that book brought us to tears. I mean, the entire class from time to time. And she just had the most amazing delivery of that. And while in high school, she started a magazine. So, of course, I jumped to the opportunity to write, do articles in the magazine, to basically, I had quite a few entries in that magazine. In fact, someone sent an old copy of the magazine for me some time ago, and I felt a little embarrassed at the writing, but at that time it was, I guess it was acceptable of the standards expected of a student. So from there, basically, I'm really a research sociologist. And sociology, when I say research sociology, the one who goes into the community and studies the cultures, the way of life, just about everything of the community. So people normally see me here, there, everywhere. Much of it is really touching base with the culture and getting on the ground and deep down and understanding. We have the most amazing culture in the world. I could boast about that. So as a research sociologist, you want to find a way of conveying all the goodness that you're seeing in your own country and with the Caribbean in particular. So I studied as a sociologist. That was my professional career, and as a research sociologist, that got you right into the field and in the everyday life of people. I had to find a way of conveying much of the information that I get, rich, powerful information about our people, our culture, our ways of life. There's just so much goodness. I'm totally excited about it. And so rather than writing the sort of academic articles that very few non-professional people read, because the academic articles are written in such a way, it's just so high-flown, most of the time even over my head, and I'm trained in that. So I thought that a good way of conveying much of this really powerful social and political and cultural information is through what I call docu-novels, right? It is really documenting some of the facts in the form of a novel to keep it interesting so that people will read it. So my first was Unveiling Island Passion. That was the name of the first one. And many people thought it was a romantic novel. There's a little romance in it, of course. That's part of our culture. Without romance, we're not going anywhere. So there is a little romance in it. It gets a little steamy sometimes. But the whole idea was to convey, I situated into a sort of story where this foreign lady came visiting Grenada in the early days, maybe that's around the 70s, very early. And she just was so fascinated. She could not believe. She did not understand. She did not know anything about Caribbean or Grenada and the type of life that we live. And she had a lot of stereotypes and, you name it. about these island people living under the pieces of rock. And she came and it transformed her life. She encountered, and basically I put it in a community, Tivoli, the cultural mecca of Grenada, cultural capital, the Tivoli conference area, where you will get the real Grenadian experience.
The real McCoy.
The real McCoy. So she got the real McCoy from that environment. And, the encounter with the children, the adults, the activities, the style of life, her mind was blown. She was transformed into a different person. Right? Stripped away all of the stereotypes, learned to appreciate differences, learned to appreciate diversity, and see differences as a strength, and just saw the purity of the living. And, that with so, in her perception, few material means, yet there was that joy, there's that internal joy and happiness and community spirit, community life that she was totally fascinated. So basically the objective is to convey, and even today when you go into those communities, that community spirit continues. We may not see it so much in the St. George's area because you see how things has changed. But once you leave St. George's, no matter which community, or even some of the outskirts of St. George's, it's still there. But once you leave that central tourist belt and you get out there, that spirit is still there. After all these years, that community sharing, that community love, and that sort of attachment to the culture and attachment to your country and that level of patriotism is just without much material means. So, so I'm conveying in the book that with that little means, here we have a pure people, a happy people, contented, right? Well, we take some things, but when we can't take it no more, we show our
true colors.
Our true colors. Now, we normally show our true colors generally, but when some things ain't working for us, we deal with it. But basically, that was the objective of. So it is really understanding the culture, and I wanted to convey the richness of our culture and how ingrained it is into our society, ingrained into our young children growing up, and I mean, recently I looked at something on Facebook where there is a jab celebration in Tivoli. I just had to smile. I'm like, and led by the kids in front, it's just the same spirit. I was elated. Right, despite COVID, I was elated. So that was the objective of the first book, right? Really try to put all of this sort of thing so that we could celebrate our culture a little more and how people on the outside come here and are so fascinated, whether it's by our good morning that we say to everybody that we meet, or it's our food, or it's our activities, whether it's the Saraka or the dancing or the community line, the cookout, the side of the road cook, no matter what it is, that kind of fascination. Even fascinated by the modesty of the little houses and how clean they were and breezy and open, and the attention people put into their gardens and their homes. I mean, all of that. So that was number one. The second book I wrote, really, it was, well, as you know, I am a professor at St. George's University. I teach sociology and research methodologies. And it was in one of my classes, I've been doing some research on the LGBTQ community in Grenada. And one of my students at the end of a class came to me and said, I'm a local student. He said, I would really like you to tell my story and the story of that community in Grenada. Because, we are experiencing a lot of fear and anxiety and frustration, not as accepted throughout the country. So I said, interesting. I said, I could do it, but what you have to do is to put me in touch with other members of the community so I can do the necessary research, and that's where it went. He set me up with members of the community I did interviews with, and that is the second book. It's called Sun Rising, and that's S-O-N Rising. I'm proud of this book because it is the first in the Caribbean that addressed that issue in the way that I addressed it. Basically, I conveyed, telling his story, right? But he is a compilation of everyone's story.
Right.
So in telling his story, I try to incorporate the lives and experiences of the others.
People, okay.
So while he may be the central figure, I use the opportunity to tell everybody else's story that I interview, basically. And so it addresses the issues like experiences at home, the embarrassment felt by fathers, and this total, rejection of the children whenever they would have that experience. The silence and quiet, embarrassed silence of the mothers who, especially when they are aware and they know, normally parents know very early. And I had an opportunity to interview one or two parents also, which was really very revealing. They know very early, but the embarrassment, the thinking that, what will the neighbors say, and the attempt to mask it. And in our own experience, that attempt is always done in the form of aggression, beating, trying to beat it out of you, which is something that cannot be done. And so we have that situation where they have these experiences at home, then you go to school. So I took that kid through all of the stages, incorporating the experiences of others at home, incorporating his and others' experience at school, and the patronizing way teachers who are may suspect or have some kind of inclination that something is going on there, they sort of patronize, speak to them in a different tone, treat them differently. So you have all those types of things. The sort of bullying or the sort of experiences in the play field and with your peers in the school and the looks and the comments, etc., etc. So we went through all of that through teenageship, through friendship with females, for example, for the guys, or for the girls, friendship with a guy, platonic friendships. And then we went into his dating, like male dating, and so brought in again the experiences of not only him, but other lesbians and bisexuals, etc., and what it's like, and the type of the tightrope they walk, having to hide their activities and being branded, stereotyped, discriminated against, etc. So it took this Sun Rising take you right through the lives of many of persons within that LGBTQ community in Grenada, and so trying to show the sort of discriminatory experiences that they would have had or that they continue to have, and how it impacts them psychologically, emotionally. And it's not only the individual, the family, the brothers, the sisters. Some of them want to join with the public and, to demonstrate, well, I am not so, as if it is you understand, not understanding that it is something that you were born that way. You were born that way. You're not based on the research that I did. That is the type of that's the conclusion that I was able to come up with in terms of that it's unfair. It's not like a religion where you change religion, right? It's you're born with particular characteristics of which for certain people that is the situation. And so this book, the book really basically is factual, but I again had to create an individual through with all of these experiences which were experiences of others, to convey different points and to make some of the points that what we are actually doing is destroying our resources when we behave like that. And the importance of embracing all of God's creation rather than choosing what we feel comfortable with and ignoring. And so we're the losers, really the population of our country, because here we're speaking of extremely talented people. We're speaking of extremely progressive people who have so much to offer. And yet we are so busy judging, making judgment about people. You know, it was just an amazing piece of research. Yes, I mean, it's so enlightening. Mm-hmm.
With the books that you've written and the research that you've put into it, so how long on average would you take to write a book, from the start of the research, or maybe from the inception of the idea to the end? How long would it take?
Well, I'm a pretty quick writer, but I once I collect all of my data, then I sit and so for the 2 books, I did them during my sabbatical from the university. You know, after you work for several years, you get a year or a few months off. So I do my research during my work period. And then when I'm on sabbatical, I do the writing. So one of the things, well, I do have another book that is currently at the editor. I was hoping that we would have gotten it before the hurricane season. That one was on Hurricane Ivan. I was so traumatized by Ivan, I had to write about the experiences of, not necessarily my experience, but experiences of other persons that I have interviewed who would have experienced Ivan and experienced, so older persons who experience also Janet, right? So, and look at these 2 storms. And during the lockdown, I at that period I was writing, or I completed during the lockdown a manuscript on funerals in Grenada. And just when I completed that, the nature of funerals changed. So I said, good, it's going to be a good historic document to look back at, what it's like when you go into a community and go into the cemeteries and go into the happy hours and the rum shop near to the cemeteries and the stories that come out of from funerals. What's funerals like in Grenada? Because I think that's a major death, dying, and bereavement and funeral, a major cultural issue in Grenada. So that one I did during I completed during our lockdown, COVID lockdown. Was and it's still in its very manuscript form. I've just put it aside still until I like that spread out the delivery of my work. So normally I don't just stop. So I've already started on another manuscript. So you understand? So that, because I like to experience, and these things just, so I've started on another one, but I don't just do them and leave them there for a while. And because I just like to write, So I just like to experience different things that I just think is of so much interest in the life of our people. As a sociologist, you study the social life of the people, you study the culture, the history, the politics, the everything, right? So of course, COVID will be something of tremendous interest to me and all of the bacchanal that's taking place with the COVID situation, and so that definitely is of interest to me. And but my interests lie more so with the people, and to understand why many people. I do not believe in making the judgment, and I'm sometimes very upset when I listen to some of the comments on the news that. Telling people, you're just falling for fake news. Or telling them, discrediting. There's nobody wiser than the real community people. They experience it, they live it. So listen to the reason. Offer alternatives. You understand? If people have alternatives or options, the response will be different. If you approach them in a way which says, listen, COVID came. We see what it has done to other societies, but we were lucky. Not only luck, but we did the right thing early enough. Everything was put in place. People did. We have experience with curfew. 2 previous experience during Ivan and during the revolution. So Grenadians behaved really good during the curfew, during the lockdown. They stayed home, they didn't break. I mean, yeah, 1 or 2 little things, but nothing big. People did what they were asked to do. So we are today enjoying the benefits of acting early when other societies weren't even thinking about locking down. You understand? So if, for example, we did so well, what should be the response? You know, Grenada, you guys did excellent. For us to continue to be on that path, for those who want added protection, take the vaccine. For those, because people will reject, there are some people who will reject it, whether it is for religious or philosophical purposes, for health purposes. Listen to them, give them an ear, hear what they have to say, offer them alternative. Don't fight them and tell them they're backward and they're not seeing what's going on. They're seeing what's going on. Who in this world not seeing what's going on in the rest of the world? We are all seeing what's going on in the rest of. It's not that people backward and they're following and falling for fake news. But the point is, listen to people have deep philosophical reasons, religious reasons, health reasons, why they may not want to take the vaccination. Offer them alternative. What's alternative? Possible alternatives? Maybe additional vaccination if they would have heard so much about one. What about offering others? What about considering having them take a test as often as possibly necessary if they're not willing to put anything alien into their system? So rather than making it an antagonistic, and you listen to the people in the community about this thing, if you really listen, you're going to hear deep down, people do not have no objection or much objection to vaccination. We have been doing it forever. But when it is pushed too hard, it looks suspicious. And I think that is one of the main problems with this virus. So I'm definitely writing about the COVID as the next.
That's what I was going to ask. That's going to be the next book. That's going to be the next Wendy Crawford-Daniel exclusive.
Not really exclusive, but
COVID and the people.
But it's gonna come. Yes. So that is the way I operate with these things. Just that while it is hot and you can get a pulse of people and understand it, you know, I do the research. Sometimes I leave it there still and then write about it.
Have you ever thought about doing a completely fictional book without the research, just an idea that came to mind, something you see one of your children or a grandchild or a co-worker do, and you think, let me go and build a story on that? Has that thought ever crossed your mind? Is that something that Wendy Crawford-Daniel will be doing?
Well, I have not given much thought to those types of what that does not involve the research, because I like people to connect with it.
Right.
And if you read my books, you'll see that I use the name of the villages and so on. I do not disguise anything. The only thing I disguise may be the names of individuals, right? But I use the community, because people, when you relate to what they're familiar with, there is a pride. When you go to the community and you feel the pride people have for their community. I went to Florida sometime recently. What is that called? Lower Upper Florida? Anyhow, way up in the mountain. And I was doing an interview with this lady, and I asked her, she said, come with me. She took me on her veranda. She said, watch this. It's all green, pure. The air is like when you're on a mountain and that nice cool breeze constantly blowing, all the nutmeg trees, and it's close to Belvedere, way up in the mountainside. She said, do you think I will ever leave this? She lived in a very modest house, very, basic. She said, you think I'm going to leave this environment, this green environment? Look, the river there. Look at all my fruits, vegetables, everything. You think I'm going to leave this and go and live somewhere else? You think I'm going to leave this country and go and live somewhere else, leave this environment, you gotta be kidding me, right? So you really get to the meat of why people are so attached to their community, why they're so attached to the type of, and love the life they're living, and then you making judgment about people. So we're sitting here and making they would want this, they would want that, they would want, etc. Another one told me in a community called Darby Prospect, I'm not sure if you know that community.
St. Patrick?
They said, listen, in our community, nobody go to bed hungry. And that to us is the richness of our community. I mean, it was so profound. It was so profound. Nobody goes to bed. And so you see this tradition of bartering and sharing. And, in these communities, it's just so amazing. So here am I gone up there now and I see all of these mango. I'm driving through one of those communities and there's this big mango tree. And just as I reach in front, that mango fell, right? So I stopped the car and I'm running behind the mango. So I hear, Miss, come. A little old lady take out a bucket of mango. She said, you want some mangoes? I said, yes. She said, come, take it. I said, you're giving me all that? She said, take the mangoes. Take all one big bucket of mango. So here, So, hold a little something. She said, no. I'm giving you mangoes. You're not buying mangoes from me. I'm giving you mangoes. I felt kind of bad, so I said, okay, let me give her a little something. No. She said, don't do that to me. No, I'm giving you mangoes. So anyhow, this is the kind of spirit I'm talking about. So it is hard for me to just sit down and fictualize stuff when I would have had all of these different experiences. So as a sociologist, what I try to do is find a way of conveying that these things are rich and alive in our culture, in our society. And sometimes we lose sight of that and we behave with a level of arrogance about people, make judgment about people and want to push some things on people that is not quite, is not quite appropriate. So that's my position on that.
Where do you see your career, your hobby? In 2021, so let's say 4 years, 2025, 4 or 9 years from now, not 5 and 10, 4 and 9 years from now. How many more books do you think you'll be able to write? What sort of topics you want to cover beside COVID-19, of course?
You see, Blossom, I hope to continue to teach because that's my first love. I'll tell you, I love it because I love my students. And then they always contribute to my work. They help with the research. They're excited. I get them just as excited as me, especially when I find them interested in social sciences. I build that enthusiasm and excitement. So they all want to be part of the research. They want to help collect the data. They want to help, right? So it's a very good source of information. And so I hope to continue. And once I'm continuing, I'm going to continue to do that type of writing, right? Publishing, as you know, is not cheap, right? And although we have a lot of self-publishing companies and so out there, even when it's self-publishing, it's not cheap, right? And secondly, there's a whole wealth of books out there. So the normal little novel, there are trillions of these books out there and most people do not read them. Or if they read them, there are just so many to choose from. That's why I don't want to get caught up in that type of writing. I love this because it's touching the core. I don't care if my audience is small. I don't care how much people it reached. Once it reached my people in Grenada to begin with and the Caribbean. I've been getting really good reviews from friends and other people in the Caribbean who read both my books. Some of them read only Sunrise and want to read the other, etc. So I'm getting really good reviews, and that is enough for me. I don't care if it don't go much further. Although recently I got an email from one of those book people. It says, we've selected your book among 9 other books, and we're thinking of doing a sort of documentary movie type a thing with it. So I said, well, that sounds good. That'll be nice. And as I get further into the discussion, then the clause start to come out with how much this is going to cost, that is going to cost. I say, okay, hold up, I'm not ready for that yet. So it's not that I have my main source of income. So this I'm doing really as a contribution to keeping our culture and our thing alive and really touching on some of these social and cultural issues that is important. I think we need to hold on to and claim because it's ours, right? And we're not letting anyone make us feel embarrassed or small or anyway because we're big. Trust me, we're really
I agree. We're huge. We ain't big enough. We're huge.
We're huge.
Mrs. Crawford-Daniel, thank you so very much for speaking with us this morning. Somebody on the WhatsApp says you are in the company of a very fine lady from St. Paul's, very smart and intelligent. So you have fans and we appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing. Looking forward to the COVID book and future books from Mrs. Crawford-Daniel.
You're going to get a hurricane one before you get a COVID because I want to see the end game.
I want all of them. Just last week, Mommy gave me one of your books to read. So don't worry, I want all of them. Looking forward to it.
Great.
Thank you so very much. Appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day. Don't be too scared about what's going on the outside. Right?
No,
don't be too scared.
It's not too bad, though.
It's not too bad.
Okay, so thank you. It was a pleasure, Blossom.
It was a pleasure talking to you.
To be in your company.
Thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Grenadian author, a stalwart, a woman of the soil, Wendy Crawford-Daniel. We thank her so very much for being our guest this morning. Always a pleasure where we can link up with our talented Grenadians. We're going to take a very quick break, and then when we come back, I'm going to link up with the meteorological office so we can get an update or the 8 a.m. update on Tropical Storm Elsa. This is Good Morning Grenada. We'll be right back.
Once upon a time, we shopped at Wonderland, then Neverland. But we're all grown up now and no longer believe in fairy tales. So now we just shop at Shoes R Us. At Shoes R Us, we stock the latest in shoes, tops, and jeans for the fashion-conscious lady. We also carry colognes and much, much more. And for the modern trendy male, we have the latest brand-name shoes and sneakers, Converse, Reebok, Nike, K-Swiss, Puma, and much more. So check us out at our two convenient locations, Melville Street in St. George and Ben Jones Street in Granville. At Shoes R Us, we say, come shop with us.
Ultratech gasoline and diesel, available only at Rubis stations.
Looking for that injection of vibes and energy, of course? Well, I've got just that. Hi, my name is Gary Mr. Smooth, and I'm inviting you to join me on the Hot Morning Show on Hot 98.5, 98.7 FM. Weekdays, Monday to Friday, 6 to 10 in the morning. I've got a healthy dose of your favorite and most infectious hits sampled with information, news, laughter, and all the other ingredients that go into making the hottest morning show on the radio, The Morning Heat. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit us up on WhatsApp, 435-7517. We've got topics, we've got discussions, calls, voice notes, and so much more. But I can't tell you everything. You gotta tune in. The Hot Morning Show on Hot FM 98.5, 98.7 with yours truly, Gary Mr. Smooth. Kaboom!
Hey folks, you're invited to tune in to Grenada Music to the World program, hosted by Eugene Gittens on Saturday mornings from 10 a.m. to 12 noon on Classic Radio 105.5, 105.9, Hot FM 98.5, 98.7, GBN TV, and all their social media platforms. the only totally local music program in Grenada, representing all genres of music. So it's Green's Music to the World on Saturday mornings from 10 a.m. to 12 noon on GBN with the music icon himself, Mr. Eugene Gittins. See you then.
The Grenada Food and Nutrition Council remind you to boost your immune system and give yourself a fighting chance against COVID-19. Consume foods that are rich in vitamin C, like fruits and vegetables. For example, oranges, grapefruit, mandarin, lemon, spinach, cabbage, and tomatoes. Vitamin B6 and folic acid that is found in chicken, turkey, fish, grain foods like oats, bread, local provisions, dry beans, and peas. Another immune system booster is vitamin E, found in nuts, corn, sunflower or canola oils, and leafy vegetables like spinach, broccoli, and kale. Iron, zinc, and vitamin D are also important to strengthen your immunity. So try foods like lean meats, eggs, lentils, mackerel, tuna, and jacks. Our local spices, ginger, clove, and turmeric, among others, can help decrease inflammation and support the immune system. Remember to practice safe food handling. A message from the Grenada Food and Nutrition Council, reminding you that a strong immune system is one of the best ways to fight COVID-19.
Everybody, this is Godfrey and I am in Guave. It is June 29th and guess what? This Friday on Week Culture, we will be looking at the history of Fisherman's Birthday. When it started, who started it, and what it's all about. Be sure to join us. Shasi will be joining us, alright? So be sure Friday, me, Scholar, Risi, and Doc, Fisherman's Birthday on Week Culture. See you there.
There's no better way to start your day than with me on Good Morning Grenada. Good Morning Grenada is your one-stop shop. We have information, education, entertainment, your bi-weekly traffic cam, and we link up with the sister isles of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Join me every 6:35 on weekdays for Good Morning Grenada. It's your daily dose of all things Grenadian, mixed with just a little bit of crazy.
Good morning, good morning.
I said just a little bit of crazy.
I tell all of the things that's take me.
Good Morning Grenada, 6:35 a.m. on weekdays, available on all GBN platforms. Start your morning off right.
It is important to know what your road signs and markings means. The zigzag lines means you should not park in the marked area. Parking is allowed inside the solid white lines on the edge of the road. Remember, look out for pedestrians. Pedestrians, be sure the vehicle comes to a complete stop before crossing. These tips can save your life. These tips can make our roads safer for all users. Be safe, be seen, be smart. A message from the Traffic Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force.
GBN Television News at 7, a pulse on all things Grenadian. Look out for our new features through expanded synergies with our media partners in Barbados, St. Lucia, Jamaica, Trinidad, and beyond. Capturing the latest in news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Credible, informative. Thank you for making us number one. News at 7, live, Monday to Friday on GBN Television, Channel 7 and 11. K105.5 and 105.9, Hot 98.5 and 98.7, GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel, and www.gbn.gd. GBN, with you anywhere and everywhere.
You know, one day I woke up and, they painted a set of pedestrian crossing all along the streets. Nobody told us how to use that thing properly.
I know how.
You're serious?
Every safe, good driver knows about these things. As a driver, you have to be very attentive. You're coming up close to a pedestrian cross, you start slowing down immediately, looking to see if there's any pedestrian on the side getting ready to cross. If there is, you stop on the line that is a certain distance before the crosswalk. Then you would see the pedestrian put their hands out, looking directly at you, indicating that they are going to cross. And only when you have come to a complete stop, that is when they will quickly and safely cross to the other side. And then you continue happily on your journey. Stop, look, hand out, eye contact. Wait.
All right, welcome back to Good Morning Grenada. I know it's been a bit of delay. We just wanted to ensure that we had the updated information on Tropical Storm Elsa as we continue to track her progress across the Southern Caribbean. I have joining me live online is forecaster at the Meteorological Office at the Morris Bishop International Airport, Jerry Tamer, and he'll provide some information from the 8 a.m. update on Tropical Storm Elsa. Morning once again, Mr. Tamer.
Hi, good morning again, and good morning to listeners again. Yes, as we hinted, we would have an update at 8 a.m. as issued by the Hurricane Center in Miami. And they have updated this situation with Elsa. A new position is Elsa is now 12.9 degrees north and 59.8 degrees west. That's 12.9 degrees north latitude and longitude 59.8 degrees west. Now this puts it like 20 miles to the west-southwest of Barbados. That is also with 95 miles to the east of St. Vincent. And in terms of Grenada, that is like 124 miles to the northeast of Grenada. Now Elsa is still moving towards the west-northwest at 28 miles an hour. Maximum sustained winds have now increased to 75 miles an hour. So right now, Elsa is no longer a tropical storm, but is a hurricane, and a Category 1 hurricane. Okay, so that's the big news. Elsa has been upgraded to a hurricane. That's Category 1 hurricane. Her movement continues, so she's expected to cross the islands today. And Grenada and its dependencies are still under, maybe no more than ever, under a storm watch. Okay, so just to repeat the latest position: 12.9 degrees north, 59.8 degrees west. That puts it like 124 miles to the northeast of Grenada, which is just east of St. Vincent, southwest of Barbados. Elsa has now attained winds of 75 miles an hour, which makes her a hurricane now, and a minimum hurricane, Category 1 hurricane. And these conditions is, of course, expected to continue for the rest of the day as she crosses the islands during the course of the morning into the early afternoon into the Caribbean Sea. So, of course, we are asking our nation to continue to exercise the necessary caution, especially residents towards the north of the island, Carriacou, Petit Martinique, and so forth. Okay, Blossom?
Can you give us an idea of how much rain we're probably expecting? I know that's a major concern for people, especially in flood-prone areas.
Okay, well, listen, I cannot quantify in terms of actual measurement, but what we are looking at right now are the rain bands that are coming out of the system, and there are some very well-developed rain bands swollen out of the system, and this is our major concern. Okay, so that is why we have the flood advisory out and the landslide advisory out, because the rain bands are, as we have been monitoring over the last 24 hours, are very, very, very active. Okay, so that is our major concern for our nation, the rain bands.
And we're expecting those major weather systems to affect us most during the mid-morning, around 11 midday?
Yes, well, right now we have one band affecting us, and as the system moves, okay, there are other bands coming in. Yes, so for today, for the entire day, we expect these rain bands to affect us, because as you know, as the system rotates, one band passes, and then another one will come on to us. Okay, so the rain bands are our major concern, and that is where we're asking our people to be most vigilant and cautious.
And finally, based on the projections, when can we expect clearer skies, or at least the tail end of what is now Hurricane Elsa?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow afternoon, hopefully?
Yes, I would think tomorrow, by sunrise tomorrow, we should be. Because she's moving so quickly. 28 miles an hour is pretty fast. Okay, so. And the system is not that large, so much of a large system. Okay, so tomorrow. Yeah, we see some blue skies tomorrow.
Okay, all right, fingers crossed. Thank you so much, Mr. Tima.
Okay, you're welcome.
I know it was a rush to get the information, but appreciate the information you can provide to us.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right, so Elsa has now been upgraded to a hurricane. She is now a Category 1 hurricane. Hurricane warnings have been issued for Barbados, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and St. Lucia. There has been no upgraded warning as of yet for Grenada. That warning would come from Trinidad and Tobago. Barbados, which was on the tropical storm warning, is responsible for issuing the advisories for Barbados, of course, St. Vincent, St. Lucia. That's why they have gotten their upgraded warning, which is a hurricane warning. And as soon as, if Grenada gets an upgraded warning, of course, we will share it with you on our listeners on Classic, of course, and GBN and any platform that we can share the information. This morning, somebody asked me if there was an advisory issued from the Ministry of Education in relation to school attendance. As of now, there has been no advisory from the Ministry of Education or NADMA in relation to attendance at school. I know there were schools that closed early yesterday, preparing for today, but officially no advisory has come. I am currently on the Ministry of Education's Facebook page, and they have posted updates as recent as an hour ago, but nothing as of yet in relation to schools because of what is now Hurricane Elsa. Once I get that information, I will definitely share it with you. So again, what was Tropical Storm Elsa has been upgraded to Hurricane Elsa. She is a Category 1, expected to affect the islands in the Southern Caribbean throughout today into tonight. And as forecaster at the Meteorological Office at MBIA, Jerry Tima, says, hopefully tomorrow by sunrise, we should start to see clearer skies. Hurricane warnings in effect for Barbados, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Lucia. So far, Grenada is still under tropical storm watch. If and when that is upgraded, I will share it with you. Hopefully, by the time we get ready for To The Point, open line on To The Point at 9, I would have more information to share. In the meantime, continue to stay safe, continue to stay dry, be cautious, be careful on the nation's roads, ensure you have what you need to get you through this time, whether it be a hurricane kit, a hurricane kit with your canned foods, non-perishable items, sanitary equipment, that material that you may need, whatever you need to get you through this hurricane period. The eye or the center of the hurricane will be passing north of Grenada, but we will be getting the outer bands or the rain bands and thunder and lightning as Elsa passes, according to the officials, quickly over the Southern Caribbean. We are going to end here, and once I get updated information, of course, I'll share. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, everybody, and please, please, please continue to stay safe.